Okay guys, let's have some fun today, shall we? What I'm going to be doing is first letting you know where you can find a free video. I'm making it available completely for free. It's only a short video, and to anybody who can refute it, or to the best refutation, to one lucky person, I'm also going to be offering some free Litecoin. That's right, we're going to have ourselves a little Litecoin giveaway. Now, not a full Litecoin, not even a significant portion of a Litecoin, but enough of a Litecoin to make it worth your while, I think. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, as you guys know, I've been covering Bitcoin a fair bit lately because I'm fascinated by many things to do with it, especially the fact that the largest Bitcoin exchange today happens to be run by the same people who run Tether coins, and these Tether coins are being issued supposedly with a one-to-one backing of US dollars. But there are some serious question marks about whether or not these people actually have any tethers in the bank, or if they're effectively working like a Federal Reserve and printing these tethers, issuing these tethers like they're going out of fashion, because in a way they are kind of going out of fashion, and maybe the whole house of cards is going to come down sooner rather than later. But there's many things about Bitcoin that I'm fascinated by. And just a couple of days ago, I saw evidence that suggests to me that maybe we're coming towards the end of this little speculative bubble price rise, possibly. What we're looking at here on the screen is a thread from the Bitcoin subreddit. And as far as I'm aware, this is the largest subreddit to do with cryptocurrency on Reddit. Certainly, from what I can tell, it is the biggest Bitcoin subreddit. And this particular thread has almost 1,000 upvotes, as you can see there on your screen. And the title of this particular thread is Crazy Idea: Create a Moon Bounty by Launching a Private Key to the Moon. And I don't think this guy is joking. In fact, if we go through some of the comments, you'll see that they all seem to be pretty serious about this. What the idea is, and he admits it's a crazy idea, but what this particular person wants to do is to effectively put Bitcoin on the moon. So his idea is that if you were to put basically like a wallet, if you were to put a Bitcoin wallet that no one can access without having it in their hands up on the moon, then as the Bitcoin price goes up, perhaps to $1 million or to 5 million or 10 million, or who knows where Bitcoin could go, at some point it would become economically feasible for somebody, whether it's NASA or Elon Musk or some other group, to send a man to the moon to collect this bounty, or to send a robot to the moon to collect this bounty, and it would work out that they'd still make money overall. Now, if Bitcoin is only worth $20,000 at the moment, then you'd need a lot of Bitcoins to make it worthwhile. But the theory is that A, the Bitcoin price will keep going up, so at some point it'll be worth it to somebody to send something to the moon to retrieve the wallet. And B, more and more people could keep sending their own bounties to that particular wallet address. So it's not just the Bitcoin that gets sent originally that would be the bounty. Anybody could add to the bounty. And I guess in theory, this would also help add promotional value to the whole concept. Now, again, this person admits it's a crazy idea, but you can see where they're coming from. They're like, let's literally put a Bitcoin on the moon. And when I was reading it, and I'll put a link to it in the info box below so you can check it out for yourself. When I was reading it, I had to remind myself, there's actually lots of people out there who still believe that man did go to the moon. They still believe that the Apollo missions were legitimate, and that between 1969 and 1972, real-life human beings went to this other place called the moon, this other physical realm that you can go to, and they went there, and it was all real. People to this day still believe this stuff. And I for one, find that fascinating in and of itself. It's like, really, here we are 40, 50 years later almost, and there are still people who believe that this is real. That's very interesting to me. So what I wanted to, I guess, bring some attention to is firstly the fact that I was looking at the moon landings and some of the coincidences between Bitcoin and some other things happening in the world, and I did a little bit of an analysis on this image, which is supposedly from the Apollo missions. And I published this one on December 6th, and by my channel standards, that's actually got some decent views. People seem to be interested in that particular video. There's actually only one video that I've released about Bitcoin that's been more successful than that, and that is my video about the Bitcoin Tether problem. And what's interesting about this particular video is that when I first released it, it didn't get much attention. This was back in late November. But over the last few days, more and more people seem to be starting to wake up to this potential problem that is facing the entire cryptocurrency economy, which is that, as I said, there's one company who are responsible for both the largest exchange of Bitcoins and also these supposedly fiat-backed tethers, which might not actually be backed by fiat, potentially. That's what some people are suggesting. So I thought it would be time. What I would do is I would re-release a video that I released on the topic of the moon landings about 2 years ago, back when I was still very new to being a YouTuber and to producing videos and these kinds of things. And it's one of hundreds of videos that I've placed on private now, which are not generally accessible to the public. But I thought the time was right to re-release this one. So here's my offer to you, to anybody who might be watching this. If you go back and check out this particular video, it's called Classic Cinematic Techniques. Let me just bring that up there. Go and check this video out. I'll put a link in the info box below. I've just made this one public again. It had been private for a while, but I've just made this public again. If you can watch this 7-minute video and refute any of what I'm saying in it, then you're going to go into the draw to win yourself a small portion of Litecoin. Again, I have to stress, it's not going to be a full Litecoin, not even close, but I think it will be worth your time to one lucky person who can refute anything that I'm saying here in Classic Cinematic Techniques backdrops. And for those of you who found my channel in the last few months or in the last year, you might also be interested in this video to see, I guess, how far I've come as a YouTuber. You know, I'm one of these people who uses YouTube as a creative outlet, as a way to share what I'm thinking and to try and be creative. And it's interesting for me to look at this video and think that this was more than 2 years ago, and yet for me personally, and maybe I'm biased, for me personally, I think that this video has held up very well. In fact, I don't see very much in the so-called truth realm by way of production values. And so even though I was very new to all of this back then, I think this one has held up pretty well, but I'm very biased, aren't I? This is my work, so I can't really judge it objectively, can I? But you can. And if you do, and if you find some problems with what's being presented, you're going into a draw to win some Litecoin. And that's my offer to you. So check the info box below. I'll put a link to this video that you've got on your screen right now. And if you're up for the challenge, like I said, one lucky person, if there's more than one person who refutes what I'm putting out there, then I'll just pick the best one, and I reserve the right to be the person who decides who that lucky winner is going to be. But that's if anybody refutes what I'm saying, because I've got a sneaking suspicion that nobody will be able to refute it. So I guess we're going to find out. Now, if the video that you're watching right now is the first that you've heard of this Tether problem, I'll also put a link to this Tether problem explained, which I think is going to be a slow burner and keep generating views as more people start to wake up to this potential Tether problem. And I'll also put a link to the Bitcoin page on my website, which has a lot of material, most of it completely free, which talks about not just the Tether problem, but some other issues that are facing the Bitcoin economy, if you want to put it that way. I look at things like crowd psychology. Gustave Le Bon has some very insightful things to say about the way that people work when they're in crowds. Of course, that coincidences video, which is interesting, or it should be interesting to anybody who likes to look at some of these coincidences and ask, are they really coincidences? I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong, and I think that maybe Bitcoin could have another 12 months before it crashes. So nobody, in my opinion, should be taking financial advice from YouTubers. But if you want my advice is whatever you want to do, do it. I'm not going to try and talk you out of investing in Bitcoin. I'm certainly not going to try and talk you into it. Who knows? Maybe Bitcoin will go to the moon. And then some podcasts and a few other things talking about the Bitcoin economy. This video in particular, well, I'm planning to release some material about this, but let's just say that this Pineapple Fund, there are some serious question marks about that as well. So I'll link to this in the info box below, but I think what you want to do is go and check out this Classic Cinematic Techniques from 2 years ago. One of my classics, a JLB classic, if you ask me. you refute it and you go into the draw to win yourself a very small amount, but perhaps a worthwhile amount of Litecoin. So I'll leave it there on December 19, 2017. Like I said, check the info box below and follow the links. And if you get time, go and check out this thread on Bitcoin as well. These guys are serious. They're so confident that Bitcoin is going to the moon. They literally wanted to put some Bitcoin on the moon. What a crazy time to be alive, guys. We are living in a very, very crazy world. Very crazy time to be alive, but it's exciting. I find all of this very exciting, personally. I think I couldn't have asked for a better time to be alive. Every day I see stuff that makes me think, wow, this is like a gigantic dream of some variety. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe this is all one big dream. What on earth is going on here? John the Bond, 19th of December 2017, and this is JLB 17111. Lots of lucky numbers in there, so I wanted to make this one about the moon. But enough of me rambling. You guys take care. Check the links in the info box below. And until next time, you guys take care of yourselves.